welcome to another exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show. I'm your host, Andre The Beast Crayton, and today, all the way from Florida, Sarasota, by way of Baltimore, Maryland, Cambridge, the whole 9 yards, we have in the house the one, the only Mary Schrank.
I love it. Right? You did good. I'm so proud of you.
Hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored to be here. Thanks.
Mary, we got something in common. We're both involved in physical fitness, the health generation, 80s boomers, the whole 9 yards. Tell the viewers a little bit about who Mary Schrank is.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, I'm a product of the 80s, so I like to say I bleed neon. I got the big hair, so I can keep doing it. But you know, 52 years young, I spent most of my career in the corporate setting on the healthcare side, and in 2008 made some changes to my personal life, which took me into the health and wellness side, and in 2012 started my health and wellness business, and that's what brought us together.
Now, we talked briefly for a couple of days, and you shared with me your road to the health and wellness, and let's just be honest, fitness world.
Yeah.
Tell the viewers exactly, step by step, a little bit of that detail with the first part of the journey, because you definitely went to college.
I did.
Partied a little bit. Take the viewers down that road.
Sure. So, I grew up in Maryland. I was a cheerleader. I'm sure you're shocked to know, if you know anything about me or my content, I have a little bit of extra energy and joy. And then I went off to college in 1989. And I packed on about 30 pounds in 3 months. And that was the very typical, look, I'm just being raw and real here, but that was drugs, alcohol, stupid foods, Taco Bell at 2 a.m, whatever you want to call it, a whole lot of really unhealthy living. Hair was falling out in big chunks. As you can see, I have a lot of hair. So I still had a lot of hair, but I had less hair, and I had acne on my face. When you're unhealthy on the inside, you're unhealthy on the outside. It all goes together. And, I finished up college, and I just spent most of my adult life yo-yoing, really trying to figure out how to get that weight off, be healthy in a consistent way. Maybe you can relate. I would spend about 3 weeks on the wagon, doing really good, getting the workouts done, eating healthy, all of the things. And then I'd, miss 1 or 2 workouts.
How do you do that though? You mentioned that you was an athlete to some degree. You was a cheerleader. You had to jump, flip, hold people up. My daughter was a cheerleader. What triggered was it depression? What triggered the weight?
No, I've never really battled anything related to depression. It was, listen, we're all responsible for our own actions, but, I was 8 hours away. I went to college in West Virginia, and all of the girls that I became friends with, they introduced me to drugs I never even heard of in my life, and so we were in a party town. I went to Marshall University. We were in Huntington, West Virginia, which is a big party town.
Back up. You went where?
I went to Marshall for 2 years.
Randy Moss?
We are Marshall, baby. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. So notice I said I went to Marshall. I didn't graduate from Marshall.
Okay.
I graduated from Towson State University in Maryland, because I had to go home and get my shit together. Sorry, am I allowed to say that word?
You're allowed.
Okay. So we were out at the bars every night. We were drinking beer, or I don't know why my drink of choice back then was amaretto sour. I'm surprised I even have an esophagus left after all that sour mix, but all that sugar, all the stupid stuff, all the foods, all the drugs, whatever. And so it's not shocking that I put that weight on that quickly, because it was just unhealthy. It was all. So yeah, I'm responsible for my own actions, but certainly I was dropped into an environment that's what they were doing. So I wanted to be accepted, and I did what they did.
You mentioned the increase in weight. You mentioned health issues with hair loss and stuff. You was young. You was in your 20s at this time.
Oh, 18.
Did you think about seeking advice from a doctor?
Now, I was 18 and stupid. Come on. Who's 18 and smart? Not too many of us. I was 18 and stupid. I was in college, and when, like I said, you can see I have an abundance of hair. So where the hair was falling out, I was just covering it up with the rest of the hair. I didn't correlate that my hair loss was because I was unhealthy and I was doing all this stupid stuff. I was just like, this is what's going on.
When you see this stuff happening, when does the light pop in your head? Because let's get real. We're gonna get to the real issue.
Sure.
We venture into your life. But let's
go.
When did the light bulb click?
I'll tell you,
was this happening during your marriage?
No, I was in college. I wasn't married in college. So graduated high school. I was like, what, 17, that first semester of college. So I was like 17, 18 in that zone. And, certainly in that first semester, when I put those 30 pounds on, clearly I recognized that I had to go buy new clothes. I was three sizes bigger by the time I went home for Christmas break. But the aha moment, the thing you're asking me about, or this click, was when I got home for Christmas break and my mom's eyes were as big as golf balls. My mom said, because she could see the acne all over my face, my hair loss, and the weight. My face, you should see a picture of my face side by side. My face looked like a completely different face. Most of us gain weight in our face. And she just went, she literally said, "What happened to you?" That's exactly the words out of her mouth, was "What happened to you?" Okay. And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Well, you gained some weight." I'm like, "Yeah, I did." And I was kind of mad that she said that because I was hurt. I was like, "I'm home for Christmas. Don't you love me? Like, who cares if I have this weight on?" Right. So it was listen, college, those first 2 years when my life was, like I said, I'm lucky to be alive. God protected me. But my brain compartmentalized when I was in Huntington, West Virginia at Marshall University. My brain was in a different zone. When I went home for any kind of a break, that was reality. And I was raised with a very good foundation. I was raised by amazing people. I knew the difference between right and wrong. So even when I was in this unrealistic, doing all this stupid stuff, I still was being tapped by God everywhere saying, this is not the right thing, but you do it anyway.
Okay. So my question was, I guess I kind of went off track a little bit. You see the weight problems, weight issues. You don't really address it. It's still hankering. Did you carry this over into your marriage? That same problem? Did it transfer over to your first marriage after college?
Okay, so yes and no. Yes. I didn't have still the whole 30 pounds, but I still had a big chunk of it still on my body. But then as I got married, and I'm married, and like I said, the next 16 years of my adult life, even into my second marriage, last marriage, I like to call it my last, done after this.
You better clean that up.
I'm going girls or cats if this doesn't work out, right? I just wavered. I was like, okay, I feel like crap. I look like crap. I need to get healthy. And I would start to do the things. And I honestly, because I only had that 10 or 15 pounds to lose, I mean, I'm just going to be real with you. I would back then I wasn't doing any kind of home-based thing. I was going to a gym. So, I'd get to the gym, and when I would do good for a couple of months, the weight would come off and I'd start to look good. So maybe I was looking around going,
okay,
I look a lot better than most of the people in this gym. And so I would just skip the next workout because I look all right. I'm looking better now. And I think a lot of people do that. I look better now. And so one missed workout turns to two missed workouts, which turns to months, and then you're off the wagon again.
Where did accountability begin to take in? Evidently, I see no accountability, or let me rephrase it. I see, let's roll the dice accountability with yourself. What did you do to start taking accountability to get you over the hump? Because evidently you see that something needs to be done here.
Oh yeah. So so fast forward to 2008. I'm at a gym. I'm with my personal trainer. I hired the Jillian Michaels of the trainers because I wanted someone to kick my ass. I wanted to be better. And so she was smearing me. I was curling 20s. I was doing it all. And she, halfway through my training session, she said, "Sit down." And she said, "What's going on with you?" And I just burst into tears. And I just said, "You know what? At that point, I was still 33% body fat, about 10 to 15 pounds overweight. And I said, you know what? I'm so freaking sick and tired. I was getting ready to go to, my husband and I would spend the 4th of July weekend, we would spend with 30 to 40 other couples on the beach at this big boat show, boat racing thing. And I knew I was going to be in a bathing suit that whole weekend. And once again, I wasn't feeling my best. And I just said, I'm so sick. Why can't I figure this out like everybody else?
What was your training regimen like? So the viewers know, what was it like at the gym with you, with your trainer?
She was an excellent trainer. I mean, she had me doing some really creative stuff, but I loved heavy lifting. I still do today. I was lifting heavy. I did everything she told me to do, push-ups and the pull-ups and all the things and all the weights. She had me in cycle classes, I did everything she said, but I wasn't embracing nutrition. So I was trying to outwork out a poor diet, and that doesn't work. And everybody knows that doesn't work. Nutrition is 80% of us being our healthiest selves. And one of my favorite questions I get from my followers is, how do I get your abs? I'm like, in the kitchen. We all know it. It's cliche, but like, you can do sit-ups and crunches from now till the cows come home. You're never going to see your six-pack if you don't lean out.
Why do you think you didn't embrace the nutrition as a trainer and a professional bodybuilder? I know the importance of embracing the nutrition aspect more so than I do the exercise.
Me too.
But did your trainer focus on that with you during it?
Nope. She worked me out. She worked that. Here's the workout. That's what we did. Now, she would ask me questions, but there was no nutrition piece to my personal training session. It didn't work that way. And if you did that with your clients, I love you for that. But most personal trainers, you're getting a personal training session on the gym floor. And unless you hire someone to help you with the nutrition piece. And so it didn't come with that.
I really recognized that you needed that.
Yes, that's why she sat me down.
Okay, when she sat you down, what did you do next after she sat down with you? Did you start?
She sat me down and she said, I want you to do this full wellness system. It's a home-based system. And I said, I ain't doing no Jane Fonda bullshit. I need you to smear me all over this gym floor. And she said, no, you need a full wellness system, Mary. You need nutrition and you need accountability in addition to what I'm giving you as the workouts. And I want you to try this. I said no many times that day to her. I did not understand I said, you're going to lose me as a client. She said, I want you to give it 30 days. In 30 days, if you're not happy, if you're not satisfied, you can hire me back. But I love, she was a friend as well. So she's like, I love you and care about you. And I want you to have results and be healthy. And I haven't stepped foot in a gym since that day.
What did you change? What was the first thing that you changed? First, you was resistant. So let's get past the resistance. Now you got to put accountability and action together. What was the first thing that you removed? And what was the first thing that you changed in your life?
Well, here's the thing. I had good workouts. So did this wellness system have great workouts? It did. But I liked them a lot. I liked them way more than I thought I was going to like them. And the first program that I started with was a very intense program. So it was the same level of intensity that she was giving me in the gym. So I was like, okay, I could connect with that. I connected with the trainer. I liked the workouts. But honestly, the first piece was, okay, this nutrition thing, I got to figure this out. So I got into the training modules and I learned what I was supposed to do. I was blown away that the training module was telling me to eat stupid foods every once in a while. I was like, I've never encountered anything like that, because at the end of the day, we're not on diets. We have a diet. Everything we put in our pie hole is our diet, both good and bad. Well, all I'd ever heard is, I'm going to put you on a diet. And those words immediately conjure up restriction. And you're like, right? So this was the first time that I'd ever heard someone say, you're not going to be on a diet. You have a diet. Let me just teach you how to eat healthy so it's sustainable for the rest of your life. And I was like, oh my God. And then as you're talking about, I had this coach, I had this accountability partner. So one of the biggest pieces was that I had to every day. It wasn't complicated. It wasn't writing a trilogy, but I had to check in. And I had to say, I got my shit done. And I did my workout. I'm making healthy food choices, or I'm not, and I need help and I'm slipping, or can someone help me?
How quickly did you notice the change? And how quickly did you notice the change, and how difficult of a struggle was it? Because let's get real. You're stern. You're a stern woman. I don't see you just going right into this gung ho. You did need somebody to hold your hand. But once they did hold your hand, how long did you start seeing the results, and what were those results that you were seeing once you changed the way that you looked at nutrition?
Month and a half. I remember that very clearly because I remember thinking, first of all, and I'm sure you say this to your clients too, we all, as any kind of a trainer or a coach, get really freaked out with rapid weight loss because usually that client is, we know they're not going to sustain it, they're going to plateau, and it's going to mess with their head. So what we prefer to see is a little bit more of a steady loss, so that it's sustainable forever and nobody's freaking out when the scale stops moving. But in a month and a half, I lost 10 pounds. But more important than the pounds, because we all know this, my goal was to lose weight. So my goal was to be a smaller human. And so I was very focused on my measurements. I did my measurements pretty consistently, and I was seeing the inches going down. But even along with that, what I was celebrating was my body fat percentage was going down. And I knew that I was putting lean muscle in my body, and I was getting rid of the body fat, and I was getting healthier. And I looked really different, even in just in a month and a half. And I was really, but again, I'm still in that 3-month window. I knew I had been a month and a half steady Eddie before. Right. So I was still like, look, if I can get past month 3, I know I'm onto something. So I was still skeptical.
So when you, this is something I think everybody needs to understand. There is a key component here. Inches and increasing lean muscle mass to enhance the body's metabolic rate. What did you learn? What did you learn through these steps to get you to where you're? Because you're also a coach too. So what are you learning now with this journey of accountability, exercise, strength training, and proper nutritional balance? But let's go back one more here, because people need to understand. You also consulted with your doctor to make sure that your food choices were the best fit for you.
Right. It's one of the things I've learned over the 15 years now I've been following this wellness system is, and to be honest, I didn't learn this 15 years ago. This is something I really, in the last couple of years, have really learned to embrace and understand, is that not all healthy foods are healthy for everyone's body. We really all, regardless of who you work with or how you do it, and you can grab a little notebook and a pencil if you want to, we need to figure out and test our body to determine which foods on the healthy food list, when we eat them, do we operate at our best? When do we have the least amount of inflammation? When do we feel our best? So through the journey, you know, this nutrition piece was, what I was finding that was so refreshing is, number one, I learned how to really, really love healthy food. It wasn't cardboard. I learned how to use spices and sauces and all the things that make it wonderful. But I was really just so blown away that I could also, on occasion, you know, have the piece of pizza or have the cookie. And because before it was eat perfect or you're a failure. And as soon as I would have a stupid food, I would throw my hands up and say, I screwed up and now I'm done.
What is your favorite food, and what was the food that you thought that you, believe me, because I get this all the time, especially when I was competing, and people's like, what do you eat when you get done with your show? And I said, dude, I go eat a whole cheesecake. And
nice.
They'll just trip out. But what was the food that you was told that you couldn't have, but you liked, and now you go, wow, if I only knew?
Well, first of all, the sweets, that wasn't my kryptonite. I'm a carb girl. Give me the breads, give me the cheese, give me the crackers. I call myself a one boxer. Okay. You give me a box of crackers, I'm gonna eat the whole box. Okay, I need like a small box or a small bag. Pizza's my answer. The greasier the better. Right out of New York, hold it up. The cheese is falling off. All of the answer. I'm writing a book right now called "Eat the Effing Pizza." I won't say the whole F word on your show, but
is it called Eat the Fucking Pizza?
It is. It's called Eat the. Thank you. It's called Eat the Fucking Pizza, and it's called that because I've done enough research to know this will be the only health and wellness book out there from a health and wellness professional that will teach you life in moderation. It is not going to teach you how to have little perfect food containers and meal prep perfectly and all the perfect shit. I'm over it. Is all that stuff important? Do we need to do that? Yes, to some degree, but we can eat the fucking pizza on occasion. And that's the reason the title is the title, because I feel like I'm so frustrated with the industry teaching perfection, and it's not sustainable. So
I
pizza's the
100%
answer.
agree with that too, because I see it constantly. You're talking about somebody that grew up in the 80s, retired from professional bodybuilding in the 2000 era. And it's amazing how I see people just trying to proportion everything. Just eat. Just eat. It don't mean you're going to sit there and gorge yourself.
Yes.
Understand the balance of food portions and what foods do to you. You mentioned something that's really profound to me. I'm very carb sensitive, but give me steak and protein. Oh my God, I'm like a lion. I go crazy.
That's right.
But once you begin to understand, like you said, the correct food choices for your body, you actually begin to function better.
Yes, you function at your best. You not only feel good. I mean, listen, inflammation is it wreaks havoc on everything. Okay. And so inflammation comes from a million different things. And you can actually feel inflammation. I tell my clients, I'm like, just touch your arm on day one. And then I want you to touch your arm on a day like 14. Even your arm feels different. You can feel that stuff in your body. But when you don't have it and you're reducing that inflammation, like everything's better. Your sleep is better. Your mood is better. Your energy levels are better. And you start to feel better. And then the weight and all the things start to kind of come into line.
You must not have much inflammation because you're always on social media jumping, screaming, throwing skillets.
Skillets, not really skillets, but sort of. Yeah, I know I have an abundance of energy. I have an abundance of joy. God gave me a little extra so I could share it with all of you. I used to temper this level of energy. I used to temper my joy because I know it can be very annoying to some people. Not everybody gets this level, but right. God sort of beat me over the head with a 2x4 a couple of years ago and said, I built you just like this on purpose. Now go share it. And that's what I do.
Now, we've talked about something that agreed to disagree. But at the end, we agree.
We agree. We did.
Yeah, I think if people can do that and have a sensible talk, it makes perfect sense. Let's address accountability and let's get your take on it. And then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to flip the script, allow you to tell me what I see it. So tell me your thing on accountability and why accountability is important to you and so forth.
Okay, so I started this full wellness system in 2008. I was still in the corporate setting as far as my job, as far as my job. About 4 years in, I realized that I can pay this forward. I found a solution to a problem that a lot of people have. There are an enormous number of you out there that struggle with inconsistency with healthy habits. You might not call yourself a chronic yo-yoer, but you're struggling with finding consistency. And so 4 years in, I realized I could partner with this company. I could share this and I could actually make a business of it. And as I was doing that and I was sharing my story, which I'm sharing with you today, people were asking me, rightfully so, because I would have asked the same thing. What's the difference? What was the differentiator, Mary? What you tried all these things, Mary. You tried Tabo and Thigh Master. By the way, I still have one. I'm an 80s girl. Thigh Master and all around. Dude, we still have it. And Suzanne Summers says she still uses it twice a day.
Yeah.
I did all these dumb diet pills. I did all this stuff, right? And I was trying so desperately to like find the answer. And so then I had to ask myself, what was the difference? And well, I will tell you this, accountability was the difference. So I had access to great workouts. I told you my trainer, Leanne, she was amazing. I had access to healthy recipes. We all do. Just go to Uncle Google. He's amazing. What I didn't have was something, some mechanism, some person, some thing to make sure I was using the tools and the resources I had access to. And that is the struggle that most of you have is you know what to do. Because listen, I could ask you today, what do you need to do to be a healthy human? And I guarantee you'll say, I need to work out and I need to eat healthy. Like, no shit, Sherlock. So we need to figure out how to do it day in and day out without falling off the wagon. So what was, and me too, I'm with you. I suffered from that. So what was different was this wellness system. There was this component where I had to check in every day. It wasn't anything crazy. I just had to go online and check in and say, I did my workout or I didn't. I'm eating healthy or I'm not, or whatever was going on. And when I wasn't, somebody was tapping me on the shoulder, my coach, and saying, what's going on? Are you okay? How can I help? So at the end of the day, what I like to say is you have to have a mechanism in place where somebody notices and they care when you're not showing up and doing your shit. and then they respectfully and directly tap you on the shoulder to hold you accountable. That person, if I could scream it really, really loud, cannot be someone in your inner circle. It can't be your spouse. It can't be your best friend. It can't be a parent. Those people's jobs are to love us no matter what we look like, no matter what we're doing. And so if my husband came and told me that I shouldn't be eating what I'm eating on that plate, he's going to get it right between the eyeballs. Okay, that doesn't work. You need someone else who can be direct with you and be respectfully say, you said you had these goals, you're not doing your thing. So
what do you think
accountability
the percentage is of people that need accountability?
You want to go there? You want to fight with me? Come on, man. Put up your dukes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll be honest with all of you.
This was an agree to disagree.
I know.
We agree.
Our prior conversation, I said that I believe that 100%, every single person on this planet needs accountability. I don't care if you are a personal trainer or a nutritionist or a dietitian or how many letters you have after your name, what your level of knowledge is. We need accountability. Listen, I still need it today, 15 years in. I need accountability. And Andre didn't agree with me. So I went with 99.9% and he went with 96%. But at the end of the day, this man right here, this amazing man right here is an anomaly. Okay. He is a unicorn in the sense that the large majority of you out there need something or someone to hold you accountable because you are struggling with staying consistent with whether it's healthy living or habits related to goals you want to achieve, whatever the habit is, whatever the thing is, most of us need accountability. And so 11 years into this business, I know it from my own personal journey, but I also know it from my clients that's what they say. It's the first thing they say to me is, I know what to do. I'm just not doing it consistently. Can you help me?
And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think a lot of people need to realize, and you focused on it, there's a few individuals that are that anomaly, that don't need that are the ones that may be the ones that help guide those individuals Maybe. That do. But that's rare. Like you said, that's a rare group of individuals. So let's get ready to wrap up with the most important part of this interview. And thank you for coming on and sharing your story and allowing people to understand the importance of accountability. And more importantly, not to be afraid to say, I need help.
No, and let me tell you something right there on that point is I have a lot of personal trainers that are my clients. And the first thing they say to me is, I'm embarrassed to tell you that I am a personal trainer and I know better, but I am slipping bad and I need accountability. I need help. Can you help me? And so it's very common. Just because you know better doesn't mean you do better.
Let's talk about the book that I'm getting ready to get a copy of that's coming out.
You are.
Autographed. Yeah. Just eat the fucking pizza. Tell us about when that's coming out, your reason for doing it, and the whole 9 yards.
Listen, if you'd asked me 10 years ago if I was going to write a book, if that was on my vision board is huge and it's on this wall right behind this camera. If you would have never seen a book on that vision board. It wasn't something that I even had an interest in doing. I'm like, write a book? No, thank you. But what happens is, as you know, I have a pretty decent following on social media and they are my community. I mean, they're truly my friends in my community. We go live 4 times a week, all the things. And so the number of times that I have been asked, all of these things you share with us, Mary, that are so helpful for us to really, truly sustain our healthy habits, are they somewhere in one place? Right. That I can reference them? And I'm like, not really. And they're like, do you have a book? Do you have a thing? I'm like, not really, And so then they laid it on me that I need to write this book. So the goal for the book is to be completed by the end of the year, December the 31st. But my inside goal, you under promise and over deliver is what I'm trying to do. But my personal goal is end of November. I'm hoping to have it edited and ready to be published and all the things. So okay. It's not going to be a book filled with workouts, example workouts. It's not a book filled with recipes. It's not a book filled with all the science behind why you need to be healthy. It's a book filled with what have I done personally and what have I seen with my clients and helped them do that have all of it is how to simplify healthy, because this industry overcomplicates everything, how to simplify healthy so that your healthy habits are sustainable forever. It's applicable. It's everything in it you will be able to completely apply. And listen, I'm all about tracking. Tracking is really important, but tracking is not a forever mechanism. Nobody wants to walk around with a little notebook in their back freaking pocket for the rest of their life. So track, but track temporarily, know what the hell you need to eat, and then stop tracking. Things like that.
How can the viewers reach out to you?
The best way to connect with me is on social. I'm on pretty much every social media platform, but the top 3 that I operate in are TikTok is my biggest platform. I have an amazing community there, Instagram and Facebook. And I am Mary Schrank everywhere. Same profile picture, just my name. Don't forget the C in my last name because you won't find me if you just type in SH. So you SCH.
Leave the viewers with something positive, Mary.
Oh man, listen, I'm 52. If I can, please do not be afraid to age. I don't know if you're older than me or younger than me and listening to my voice, but aging doesn't have to suck. If you're going to become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If your 5 friends or a large majority of those friends are all bitching and complaining about getting older, just find a new circle. You have to surround yourself with people that lift you up and they don't drag you down. And all I can tell you is I'm healthier at 52 than I've ever been in my entire life. I'm happier at 52 than I've ever been in my entire life. So if I can feel this way, you can feel this way, but you're not going to, and you're going to constantly, hate celebrating birthdays and fear aging if you're around other people that are constantly bitching about everything that hurts. Find your joy, find your passion, get some energy inside your veins, and go listen to Motley Crue.
Or you could do this. Just eat the fucking pizza.
Or you can just eat the fucking pizza. I love that you love my book title. I know I'm going to have so many people try to get me to change my mind, but I'm not changing it.
Thanks for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, Mary Schrank on the Andre The Beast Crayton.